What's up, Gamer Nation of YouTube? It's Pringleson back at you with another video. I'm getting spammed with storage notifications. It's silence OneDrive. I don't care. This is gonna, I haven't done a lot of sports content recently, but I did want to do something, touch on a topic that's been kind of a hot commodity lately. And that's the topic of court storming / field storming. It's in college sports, if a team wins a big football or basketball game, they go and rush the court or they rush the field. All the students and fans just rush onto the court and they all celebrate and dance, have a party with the players and whatnot, and everything like that. It's been a huge topic lately to talk about because of some incidents, 2 incidents in particular that I will touch on here. The first happened in a women's basketball game when Ohio State beat Indiana at home, and fans rushed the court. One fan in particular got into a brush-up with Caitlin Clark. I think if you have watched sports at all lately, particularly college sports, you will know who Caitlin Clark is. So I don't need to touch on who she is. Safe to say, though, a fan running into Caitlin Clark. They made contact, and the student ran into Caitlin Clark, but it was like a light brush up, and Clark definitely tried to flop, as if flopping after the clock already hit 0 is going to do anything to help your case. No, it's not going to help you win the game. No, it's not going to get the guy prosecuted. Well, maybe it would have. It didn't. Maybe that's what she was trying to do. I don't know what her goal was there, but she definitely played it up a lot for no reason, really. Thankfully, the student wasn't hurt, and Caitlin Clark was not hurt either. So, it got people talking, but people kind of brushed it off, kind of, not really brushed it off, but kind of swept it off to the side as an issue we'll tackle later. And later came this past weekend in a men's college basketball game. Now, this one being in Wake Forest, which is in North Carolina, in the ACC. They upset. They were a 2.5-point favorite against an 8th-ranked Duke team. They were not ranked. I don't know how Wake Forest was favored here. I've never seen Wake Forest as a massive, super tough place to play in college basketball. And Wake Forest has a winning record, but they're not a super elite team. Regardless, they were favored and they won, and the fans rushed the court again. Alas, this one was not so lucky with the brush-up, because student got into a brush-up with, run-in, at this point I should say, with Duke's Kyle Filipowski, a huge player for the team. And this one did not turn out so fortunate for both parties, as Filipowski had a sprained ankle after getting into the run-in. And thankfully, it's only a sprained ankle, because people were worried it was going to be worse than that. But you don't want anybody to get injured in this situation. And it's been a hot topic now all week to talk about court storming. More so court storming. I think people, I'm going to be generalizing my opinion on both field and court storming. However, I do think a lot of people are going harder on court storming, because court storming has shown to be a lot more dangerous of a commodity. And there's been a lot of court storms this season, as there's been a lot of field storms lately too. It's definitely gone up in frequency and is not necessarily as important anymore. We saw an opposing team rush the field for football with South Carolina, a few other instances of where that's been a case. But they've been rushing the field for some pretty weak points. I get it. Maybe defeating a top-ranked team is something to rush the court for, rush the field. But when you're Colorado football and you win a game, not a super significant game. You won and it was a huge deal, but do you need to rush the field? Don't think you really need to rush the field for that. I think it's a point to just walk out the stadium, get wasted, and call it a night. I think that's what I would do, at least in that situation. But anyway, Those are the two incidents that I think the main ones that have been brought up. There's been a few other controversies over the time, that stuff like that. But people are just wanting to ban it, and I'll give my opinion. I don't think it needs to be banned. I don't think court storming or field storming should be banned. I don't, because I think they need, but I do think they need to put better regulations on it. The SEC, in one instance, has a system where if a court or field storm happens at one of their schools, that school gets fined. And every time it happens, they get fined more and more and more. I think that's a way to implement like a threat from the conference. But in the case of like University of Tennessee, like if they have a big win, it's happened, and it did happen in their win over Alabama a few years ago in the football. So it's going to happen. But in like other cases, like the school I go to, MSU, like there's no court storming or field storming at all. And I think MSU is a great example of a school that put the foot down and said, yeah, it's not gonna happen, and we've had some big wins, points where more other schools, they would have rushed the field, rushed the court. Now they used to do field rushes at Spartan Stadium, but they built walls up so high to where if you like it would literally be a mass murder, and it would just, nobody wants to take part in that. And with court storming, they have like these barriers up and like a lot of security and stuff to prevent it from happening. And stuff like that. So, point being, there's an example here of it being able to be done. I can also say I've never been a part of a field rush or a court storm before. So, I know a lot of people are probably scared of a wave of thousands of drunk college students, literally just a wave of them rushing towards you. Like that, I can't only imagine what could be going through your mind when something like when that's happening, because like you basically have the option to either rush with the people and just go, or risk being trampled. And we've seen at some select concerts over the last few years, you don't want to take the second option. But the first option is still really dangerous because you could trip, you could get pushed. There could be a blockade, and then somebody could try and prevent you from getting through. Boom, you get hit. A lot of bad things can happen. So I definitely think more regulation has to be done. Now, a lot of people are advocating more so for player safety here, and I think it's pretty simple. You just block the crowd and say, wait for the players to get off the court or off the field, unless they don't want to, like it's made just the road team go, then you rush the field. That's very simple. Like Wake Forest didn't do that. That was one of their biggest mistakes, which I think is really, really stupid, and that's a pretty, in general, simple fix. But when instances where it's not that simple, like it's difficult, it really is. And there's a lot of conferences that are not going to put the foot down, and are just going to continue to do it. And I think a lot of people have proposed some ways to do this. The two reasonable ones, in my opinion, are fines, which we already talked about, the SEC, but maybe more hefty fines. Millions of dollars, not just the hundreds or tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. And the other one is prosecution to the students. Like, you will be arrested, you will be put in jail, you will have schooling impacted, that kind of stuff. I think that's another one that I think would really work, and I think every school should implement. I think that's a big one right there. There's been some more extreme ones, such as going no fans at stadiums again, for no reason this time other than just to prevent court storming entirely, which is just really, really stupid. If you have that take, you're very, very shallow-minded in that. And another one's just like, just another one's just like, oh, have a blockade like hockey, they won't do that. Nobody wants that, and that's going to cause a whole host of different problems. Okay, I think prosecution and money are a big thing. You take away the revenue from the game, or another one, forfeiting the game as a result of a court storm. What the fuck? What does that even mean? Like it's the player's fault, like it's the coach's fault. Oh, I'm sorry that we played our hearts out and won this game that we were not favored to win at all. I'm sorry that we beat a top-ranked team so that all these drunk college students that you let have alcohol because your fat asses were too worried about making just a little minute extra amount of money. You want to buy the alcohol? No shit, they're going to rush the court. That's why I'm surprised at MSU that it hasn't happened yet. They've introduced alcohol at all the stadiums and nobody's tried to rush the field yet, as far as I know at least. Probably because basketball and football suck this year, but you gotta think it's gonna happen at some point. I don't know. That's my stance. Prosecute them. I think the fine stuff, nobody's gonna care about that. Like, it's just, they'll figure, donors will cover it. It'll be something like that. It really won't have an impact. But prosecution, that will have an impact, and I think that would be very effective at stopping these issues from going forward. So that's my topic on it. What are your guys' thoughts on court storming, field storming, all stuff like that? And if you've ever been a part of one, I'd love to know your experience in the comment section down below. What happened? And what are your solutions? I'd love to hear your solutions as well in the comment section down below. So that's going to do it for this video as well. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more stuff like this. If you want me to do more stuff like this, let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.